welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are all doing well. If you are new, what's up? My name is Shai. Welcome, make sure you subscribe. So today's video is going to be an everyday makeup tutorial, updated like go to glam. I think it's important just to update you guys on what like my favorite products are, what's currently in my rotation, and just kind of what my go-to look is. I'm going to include some tips and tricks and how I do my makeup along the way. So yeah, let's just get straight into it really. So for moisturizer, I've been loving the weleda Skin Food. When I tell you this has changed the game for me, I've been on the lookout for like a really good like intense moisturizer for my skin, especially in the daytime. It is coming up to autumn winter now, so we need even more hydration, and this came at the best time. So I picked this up at Boots, but I'm sure you can get it at a few online retailers. This is all organic ingredients, literally amazing. And then for sunscreen, that hasn't really changed. I still use my Bondi Sans fragrance free face SPF 50 plus. So yeah, let's get into the complexion. We're going to start with primer. I have been loving this. If you're not new here, then you already know, you're not surprised. I love the Milk Hydro Grip. I don't think I'm probably going to use another new primer for a long time. This has just been great for hydration, because I love me some hydration if you guys haven't noticed already, and just also just keeping my makeup on and making all my makeup products like stay on my skin. It grips my foundation or my complexion products so well. It's just really good. Make sure I put it on my nose too, my forehead. And you want to leave this to sit for at least a minute so it gets tacky, and that when you put your foundation on, that it really like holds it and grips it down. So for foundation, very surprisingly, I have been loving this Morphe Filter Effect foundation in Deep 35. This is a really good match as far as like my skin shade, so I've been absolutely loving this and using this a lot. But I do have to give Fenty a little shout out because I've been loving the skin tints. So I'm just gonna shake this up. I'm just gonna use a brush and kind of move it around my face a little. And to blend out my foundation, I always use this brush. This is the e.l.f. Buffing Foundation brush, and I'm literally just gonna tap this down into my skin. As I'm blending this foundation, I'm tapping it across my face. That will give you a nice amount of coverage, and it will really like press the product into your skin, so it's not like just sitting on top. I think that's how you get the most like flawless, almost skin like look with foundation. So now that foundation's done, I'm gonna go on to eyes. We're gonna do something very simple, almost like barely there eye makeup. I go into my Makeup by Mario palette. This is the All Matte Master Mattes. I love this palette for like an everyday soft glam. It's a more recent purchase, but since I've got it, I've been literally using it non-stop. For your eyeshadow to last, you want to do a little bit of priming. So I'm just going to use my Be Perfect primer, which is my literal holy grail. This is the only eye primer I use. Just blend this down. I don't really need too much primer because we're going to do a very like nude simple look. But just for insurance and security, we are going to use a little bit of primer. And with eyelid primer, you literally just want to tap it in place. If you need to add any, you can add any. But I find that tapping is the best way to deal with primer, because when you do blend it, I feel like the primer is not consistent over your eyes. So when you go to add eyeshadow, some of it looks flawless and some of it looks patchy. So you just want to tap it in place and make sure it's like an even coverage. And I feel like that gives the most flawless look. I'm going to go into this palette and use matte 6 and matte 9, maybe a little bit of 10. So I'm going to mix these browns together and just put them on my lid. I'm kind of mixing the browns as well, I'm not going to lie, so yeah. So now we're going to go in with the matte 11 shade, which is this deep brown, and we're going to kind of define it out of V and give us that cat eye kind of illusion. I don't like to use eyeliner because I find that, especially like black eyeliner, it makes my eyes look really small and heavy, and it just makes my overall makeup look just look very heavy and not soft. So I aim to have like more of a soft glam look, and I'm just gonna literally go on my out of V. I'm literally gonna draw a V. It might be helpful if you close one eye but you're doing it, but you're just gonna create a V. So we're gonna draw up a V. We're just gonna blend out any harsh lines. I'll make sure everything's super soft. And that's basically it done. I'm gonna use my Fenty mascara to prime my lashes at first, my natural lashes. Then I'm gonna throw on my lashes and I will be back. I'm gonna put on my Shy Girl lashes, which are super pretty wispy, like cat eye style. So now I'm gonna go into concealer. So I'm gonna use my Makeup Revolution Infinite Concealer. I absolutely love this. This is like, we're years deep now with this concealer. Like, I absolutely love it. So how I like to apply my concealer is I'll apply a little bit in the inner corner here, and then I'll apply some here at an angle to give my eyes that lift and to accentuate that cat eye we did, so it kind of makes it look like I've got liner, but I don't. I'm gonna do the same to this side. Apply it here and do that wing. And I like it to kind of sit there for a second. Then I'm gonna apply down my nose as well. And I like to leave my concealer just to sit for probably a couple seconds. I just find that it gets more high coverage that way rather than blending it out straight away. So I'm gonna leave that to sit for a minute, and then I'm going to go ahead and blend it out. I use this Juno & Co beauty sponge. It's called Storm Cloud. Absolutely love this. Like, I used to use the Real Technique sponge, but since I found this is all I've been using. It's only £4 or £5. I got mine from Beauty Bay, and I like to put my beauty sponge, I like to tap it like on my wrist, because I hate the cold feeling on my face. So I like to just tap it there for a second, and once I feel like it's kind of warmed up a little bit to like skin temperature, I will go out and blend. So I like to start on the edges to make sure that we don't have any harsh lines. So I just kind of tap down on the edges, this side too. So I'm just going to tap, and once I tap that down, I'll move up and I will kind of just blend outwards. I'm not swiping or going like really harsh, especially when it comes to under your eyes. You don't want to be too harsh, because under your eyes your skin is the most delicate, well, around your eyes in general anyway, so you don't want to be using like really harsh movements. And once I feel like I have a pretty good blend, which I have now I'm going to concentrate on using what's ever left on my sponge, and I'm gonna put it directly under my eyes. And this kind of reduces creasing, because I feel like when you put a lot of concealer directly under where like your fine lines are, because everyone has them, what happens is a lot of concealer just gets stuck and kind of just sits in your fine lines, and that's why you get creasing. So I like to literally just blend outwards, and then with whatever excess I have to move upwards and make everything like one flawless complexion. So we're gonna do the same to this side. So blend out any harsh lines first. So that's as far as I usually go with my concealer. If I do want a little bit more coverage, I will go with my MAC Pro Longwear concealer, and I use the shade NW40. I just use a little bit on a brush. I just mainly put it right here. I'm gonna leave that to sit for a second. I'm gonna quickly just blend out this nose contour before it gets super dry. So again, you guys will notice that I do a lot of tapping. I don't really do much swirling. Use the same sponge, and it literally lifts the eye, gives another level of brightness. So now I'm going to go on to contouring. This has not changed. I still use my Revolution concealer in C18. So I'm just going to use a light amount on the sides. So I'm just going to use the tip of my brush, so literally the tip, and tap this area. And we're just going to tap up and down the nose. And how I kind of gauge where I want to contour my nose is literally, for me, I'm not going to lie, it's easy. I just follow my nose bridge, because my nose bridge naturally kind of sinks down in this area. So where it sinks, I just kind of put my contour there. Once everything's kind of in place, this is when I start blending upwards. So you want to bring your contour literally up into your brow bone and blend it up here, so when you move your face it looks like a natural transition, everything looks consistent. And now we're going to start under eyes. So I love the huda, still do. I'm like 2 years deep with this product. Works every single time, like you cannot go wrong with huda. So I'm going to use a powder brush and I'm literally going to press this in. I'm not going to bake with this powder, I'm literally just going to use it to really press into my concealer and just really press into my skin. This gives like a very seamless and just snatched look. And I use the shade Kunafa, which is like a honey shade. I wouldn't even call it yellow, it's like a honey shade. And it has a slight fragrance, like a floral. I think a lot of hudas and products, like her cool products, have a fragrance to it. So now I'm going to go in with my face contour. And I'm using the same concealer I used for my nose. And I'm just going to blend this in. And I'm using the bottom of my beauty blender. Sorry, I didn't even realize I wasn't saying. And blending this in. And I love this, is like my favorite part of doing my face, because I feel like this is when the warmth comes back into my face and everything starts blending together. Then I use the excess at MAC NW40 and I'll just put it in the middle of my forehead. I blend this in. Now that that's blended out, I do like to bake now, which is a very new development, you guys. Who thought I would still be baking in 2021? But just like slightly, I like to use my Mercier translucent honey, just a little bit on my beauty blender, and I just like to put a little bit under my eyes. And I feel like this is just giving me a very flawless look. Like I can see the difference in my makeup when I do this. It just makes everything look so flawless. So now I'm gonna go ahead and should we do some bronzing? Favorite bronzer is this Fenty bronzer in the shade Thick Mint. Fenty did what they had to do when it came out with the shade. They should have came out with the shade in the first place because it would have saved my coin buying Mocha Mami, because Mocha Mami has been paid dust, okay, since I got this. So I'm just gonna use this bronzer brush that I love. It's like very fluffy. Just gonna bronze the skin. And we're gonna use the same sponge and literally just press it in. So now we're gonna finish up the rest of the face, which is pretty simple at this point. Recently been doubling back to my Juvias Saharan palette, and I think I'm gonna dip between Toby and Zayn. I absolutely love this combo, it looks so good. So I'm literally just gonna see how pigmented this can be. You gotta be careful when it comes to Juvia's face because it can get real pigmented real quick. So I'm just gonna diffuse that. But I've really been loving it. It just is very bright and punchy, and I feel like blush has been such a trend, especially over the last couple months of summer. But generally blush has been a thing, so I'm just gonna like that. So for my eyes, I'm literally just gonna finish with mascara, some lower lash line mascara, and I'm pretty much done. We're gonna go on to lips. So before we move on to lips, I'm going to finish off with my brows. I'm going to use my Benefit 24-hour brow setter, and it's in the clear. I'm just going to set my brows, and this is what really fluffs up my brows. It makes them look super like natural and bushy. I have very fine brows, so this really helps me. I don't know if you guys can see the difference between them two, but yeah. So now I'm going to set my face and use my Morphe continuous setting mist. I'm just going to set this down. For lips, I'm going to use my Richie liner by Morphe. And the sun has gone down. So for gloss, it literally just depends on the day and what I feel like, but the ones I've been going towards, if I want something clear, I'll go for one of my glosses. This is the SHAI Beauty Clear Gloss. Love it for a very simple clear gloss look. I also love my Fenty Beauty Hot Chocolate. It's running low, so I'm kind of rationing it right now. But I've also been loving this NYX, this is Milky Gloss in the shade Milk and Honey. This is amazing. So I'm actually going to use, I'm using a little bit of my SHAI Beauty, and then I'm going to top off with the Milky Gloss. I feel like it's so moisturizing. Like, it's definitely a gloss, but it moisturizes. Like, you can just feel the vitamin E. Like, it's pretty heavy in this. I don't know if you guys can see that like milky look. It's like sheer, but it's just such a pretty gloss. I love it. It has that glassy look. And I'm going to add a little bit of glow. I'm just going to go with my SHAI Beauty Glow powder and go on the sides. Face, not too much. One thing I like about loose highlighter is very customizable, so you're not going to get the like streaky highlighter look. You can get a really nice soft glow. Go up my nose. Here. So yeah, this is the finished makeup look. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. This is just my quick everyday go-to glam makeup tutorial. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to give me a nice thumbs up if you liked it. If you guys have any questions about the look, any of the products I use, be sure to comment down below. And as always, I will see you guys in my next one.